Let's go back in time and take a look at the old Sonic Speed Simulator. Oh yes, I love all these events. Just look at them. Today we're gonna be taking a look at updates / events only OGs remember. I'd like to consider myself an OG, so you may not be as OG as I am, but that's okay because we're gonna go through all these anyway. I'm not gonna waste too much of your time, so let's get right into this video. So maybe I am gonna waste a second of your time here. I want to tell you guys actually how I started playing this game and what day I actually started, because I think I actually know the literal day that I started playing, all thanks to Flamingo somehow. Alright, so let me explain.
Victory for the OG.
If you don't know who Flamingo is, let me explain. He's a Roblox YouTuber with what, over like 10 million subscribers now. And when Sonic Speed Simulator actually released, he made a video about it. And I seen that video and I'm like, man, why is it gotta be for Robux? So I patiently waited until it was, of course, free. I think I had like literally no Robux. So I waited because I'm like, ain't no way I'm paying 50 Robux for a game or whatever. And so I think the day I started playing was April 16th, 2022, because that is when it released publicly. So I think I was counting down the days and waiting for it. So yeah, I'm gonna assume that's the day I started playing the game. I don't know if there's a way to check that. But anyway, not to waste your guys' time, let's actually get into the video now. That was just a little bit of a stall, I'm sorry. So yeah, let's start off with the very first Sonic Speed Simulator event. This was one of my favorite skins for the longest time. Of course, it's such a good classic skin. This is Sailor Tails. If you didn't know, this is the first event skin in Sonic Speed Simulator. So what you had to do was collect 100 Sailor Tails cards. And once you did that, you would unlock the skin. It's literally as simple as that. Every few minutes, these cards would spawn, allowing you to get the cards. There was no event stat, none of that. That wasn't even a thing yet. It was just plain grabbing things, and that is the first event we ever had. And for such a good skin too, like honestly, this is a really good design. Let me know down in the comments if you actually knew that this is the first event, because I'm curious to know how many OG viewers that I actually have. Alright, our next OG thing. If you can already guess what it is just from me being in this zone, good job, I guess. But the next OG update is Hilltop. Hilltop, I can't remember what number update it was. It was pretty early when the game was released. It could have possibly been like maybe the third update. I'm not entirely sure. But Hilltop was one of the first zones added into the game. And it's not really about the zone being OG. It was being there to experience Hilltop being released, if you know what I mean. So there's a whole thing about it. They were teasing it and teasing it. There was like this timer in game, and when the timer was like at a minute, everyone hopped on and we were all waiting for the event to actually happen. And it was one of the most hyped things in Sonic Speed Simulator. Like, I don't know if I'm over exaggerating, but it definitely was one of the most hyped things ever. Like, it was crazy. As you guys can see here, it's really similar to the one that we already have in game, just like less textured and stuff. But this was a huge deal for people back in the day. It had like, I think the most XP, and it was like such a good world for that old version of Sonic Speed Simulator, because XP and everything worked a ton different than it does now. Like every step, pretty much every step you took, you'd be gaining a level from these XP orbs. But yeah, obviously it's not as good in 2025 as it was in 2022, but honestly, this will always remain in my heart because this was such a good update. Something else we must talk about is the Mega Chao and the Weekly Chao. So it's a lot different to the Chao sale we have now. Originally, I'm gonna explain this part first and then the Mega Chao, but we would have a new Chao that you can get for free just by grinding the game. So rings were obviously a lot harder to get back then. There'd essentially be a little podium that looked like this, and then a chao here. And every a million rings that you got, you could go ahead and buy one of the weekly chao. The first one was the mega chao. I'm gonna say it's probably the second rarest chao in the game. And I say it's the second rarest chao because the moon chao exists or whatever that one's called. I think it's called like a midnight chao or something. I'm saying that's the rarest chao because every time I say that like the mega chao is the rarest, people get mad at me for some reason. So yeah. And I don't even have the mega chao myself, unfortunately. I tried grinding for it, I just don't have it. But after I missed that, I made sure to grab every other one. The second weekly chao they actually brought to the game was the dark aquatic chao. You can literally find it. Where is it? Like right here. This is the chao that you had to pay 1,000,000 rings for, and you'd get one guaranteed. I had like 3 of them, all level like 70, and they just took all that away from me. And now all these chao are so bad. Like, why? Why? Please, just give me one rare chao. But yeah, that will always be a little thing I have.
So you have to spend 1,000,000 rings to get this legendary hunter chao, which gives you 100 XP and 20 rings. And this mega exclusive chao costs Robux, which is 599 Robux, and that gives you 250 and 50 plus rings.
The next update we have is also related to chao. You might be able to guess what I'm talking about since we're in Emerald Hill Classic, but it is the enchantment table. So when these things drop, it was very interesting. So basically how these worked is you would put a chao into this thing, and it had a chance of giving you like a plus ring advantage, a speed advantage, a power advantage, which we'll talk about in a second because power work different, XP I think, and then also event stat as well. And you just put it in, you'd spend like 1,000,000 rings to enchant it, and it was kind of like this spinning wheel. So you'd spin it and then it would land on one of the enchantments. Just imagine all these are enchantments. And you could spin it again and try to get a different enchantment, but the enchantment table was one of the most unique things they added to this game. And now it's nowhere to be found except in some inventories like my own, because as you can see, I have a level 34 jewel emerald chao, which apparently is hacked, but I didn't do it. And you can see it has a speed enchantment. This is literally from the enchantment table. And this isn't the next thing, but I did want to talk about how power worked. So you're probably wondering what I'm even saying by power. This icon right here used to be called power, not damage. So how it would work is if you had a power chao equipped and you jumped, it would literally send you flying. And these still exist in the game. I'm gonna try and get my hands on one for a video, but you can literally jump and reach the barrier. It's so cool. So wish me luck on getting that, and I really hope I can get one for a video. But let's move on to a beloved event, Metal Madness. So this event right here is Metal Madness, and as you may not think much of it now, this used to be a huge event back in the day. When I say back in the day, I feel so old. Back in the old day, we used to be able to have a full inventory, being free to play. But yeah, Metal Madness is a iconic event. It was similar to how Hilltop was. It was a very hyped up thing, and it was also kind of secretive. So if we go to Green Hill, I probably won't be able to show a good example of this. On the new map, if we went over here, it was kind of like, wait, maybe this is kind of an example of it. Okay, so it was literally a tunnel like this, and then the Metal Madness race was right here. This is kind of what started the game to be a lot bigger, I feel like, because you were literally racing up against Metal Sonic. And it doesn't sound too big now, but like back then, it was a huge thing. The next thing I want to talk about is spin dashing to other maps. Now, what in the heck do I mean when I say this? So, this tunnel has a lot to do with it, but before Reborn happened, you could quite literally fly to another map without even teleporting to it, and it would be very, very bugged. So, it'd just basically be this flat piece of terrain. So for example, Lost Valley was just this flat sand terrain thing, and it's because the world wouldn't be loaded yet. But I remember finding this out for the first time, just like playing. I didn't even know this was a thing, and it was just so cool. Like, honestly, I'm so sad that we're not in the OG Sonic Speed Simulator anymore, because there was so many fun glitches you could do. I also remember there was an event like up here, and it was another countdown. I think it was like a little bit before Reborn happened, and I went like this. I kind of just went in the tunnel. You can't do it anymore because it's like weird, but I went like this. I flung up like boom, and I went really high, and I got up there. So that was a thing I will never forget. But yeah, those are some things only OG Sonic Speed Simulator players remember. If you're also an OG, let me know down in the comments, because I actually do want to know how many OG viewers I had, like I said. And if this video gets 400 likes, I'll do a part 2, because I know there's still so many things I could have included. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time.